Hello, good day. Welcome to Music Motors. This is the Mini Cooper John Cooper Works. Now, Mini have a heritage, they have a motorsport heritage, they have a fast car heritage. However, the Minis aren't so mini anymore, but this one, so 231 brake horsepower, 350-ish Newton meters of torque, 0 to 62 in 6.3 seconds, and it tops out at 153 miles an hour. Now, all of that whilst with this one costing a plethora of options, costing around £30,000. If you don't want loads of options, you're going to be paying about 23. And base prices of Mini, for a 3-door hatch anyway, are about £16,000. Mini is a fun, everyday car, and the John Cooper Works takes that fun every day and gives you weekend thrills too. This is the 2019 Mini John Cooper Works. Around town economy, quite important when it comes to a smaller hot hatch, because realistically these are going to be used on everyday around town journeys. So this is no B roads, no A roads, just surface streets, just proper city driving. And I'll tell you what the economy is on the other end. So I'm at the other end, and that was 35.3 miles per gallon. The biggest thing I've noticed is it's actually quite comfortable. The seats are very firm, they definitely hold you in place, but they're not uncomfortable. The visibility is quite good and you feel quite snug inside. The steering weight when it's on like green economy mode is quite nice, and the acceleration means that you're not constantly worrying about bunny hopping off the line with the throttle. So generally I would say on a run around town, very good, very capable. Decent fuel economy, especially for the power. Since the early 2000s, it's the relaunch of Mini effectively for me. The design language has kind of been that same BMW-esque look. It resembles the original Mini, but not so heavily that you think it is an original Mini. Obviously, it's considerably bigger, and from an outside point of view, it's got more attractive as this new generation has gone on. I dare say the early 2000 versions were not my favourite by any means. I thought they were very bland looking. I didn't like how they were styled, but these new ones, especially this John Cooper Works, beautifully styled from the outside. The front end is aggressive and beautifully put together, nice lines. The side has a few curves, there's a few indents, but says the business. And the back end, especially with the twin exhaust, it looks sporty and it looks definitively Mini. The front end you can't mistake as a Mini. Those nice, almost bulbous, but now definitely less bulbous headlights. That intake at the front on the bonnet, you see this coming up behind and you're going to be saying it's either an S or a John Cooper Works, and then you have to look out for the badge to tell you, it's definitely the John Cooper Works. When it comes past that and you get to the side of the vehicle, the side profile on the majority of Minis is quite the same, even between the standard ones. The only thing that really sets it different from a low-end Mini to a high-end, wheels and how high it sits. Otherwise, within reason, the side profile to me looks much the same, but it's not an ugly design. I really do like the design language they use. The back end, especially now with the Union Jack in the lights, is just beautiful. The twin port exhaust on the back finishes the look completely for me, and really the back end is just perfectly put together. It's got nice lines and I can't find a bad angle to look at it. Every angle, you know, some manufacturers there's a bad angle, there's no bad angle on the back end for me. Everyday real world test, my gig test, everything is in the back. Slightly less room than I had anticipated, although now thinking back, the Mini Cooper S7 I had a couple of years ago was kind of the same. Everyday life driving, traffic, A roads, B roads, motorways, everything combined into one. And I'll bring you along for the journey. So this is my day of gigging and also showcasing the fuel economy potential in real world life.
I know that you felt like you didn't have the choice, and I don't blame you. No, I don't blame you. I know I've been a fool, but baby, believe me when I say.
So far we're looking at about 43 miles per gallon, so that's 42.9, so round it up to 43. Biggest thing on the motorway, really easy to drive in economy mode. It helps get all of the economy up. Takes away quite a lot of the throttle response, but when you need it, when you put your foot down, the car realises it and gives it to you. It is comfortable. The adaptive suspension means that on the motorway and around town, if you have it in your comfort, your economy mode, everything's fine. Visibility is pretty good, just a shame it's a little bit cramped back there. Gig done, on to the next bit. So far, fuel economy is seeming really good. And now it's more just motorways. It's going to be a lot less city traffic, just, well, I guess motorways and B roads. So fingers crossed we're going to be all right. So I'll see you at the other end.
I know that I've mistreated you, but that I am sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I've been a fool, but baby, believe me when I say to you,
Well, that didn't go as planned. The battery died and I've only just managed to get charge in. So when I got to the other end, I was actually seeing 42 miles to the gallon. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination. So now is the final stretch and just sitting on the motorway for the next 50 minutes. I'll see you at the other end and I'll give you a complete wrap-up summary of today. Okay, so the summary of today is that I actually saw 37.9 miles per gallon combined through everything, which is a pretty good cycle considering I got a lot of weight in the back. It's very comfortable, easy to drive, good visibility. It doesn't become wearing. At the end of the day, my back's tired. I've put the heated seat on. It's an easy vehicle to drive anywhere, anyhow. I'm really impressed by its capability as an everyday vehicle, but I just wish I had a bit more boot space, because the Mini on the outside isn't so Mini. Stepping inside, there's no two ways about it. The old Minis were boring, full of plastic, a bit creaky, they weren't massively nice. Many have said, let's make that better, and by God they have. So whilst there is still a lot of plastic, and there has to be, because there is in normal BMWs as well, they've also refined it to the extent that it's nice soft touch plastics. The steering wheel is perfectly finished with nice stitching going around it. It's a good feeling steering wheel. The visibility is very good. The seats are comfortable. Now these are actually Recaro seats with kind of an Alcantara finish on them. They are really comfortable, really holding. And the back seats, well, the less said about them the better. There is actually very little space back there, unless you've got very short front seat users. Otherwise the back end is very limited. That said though, the interior quality is just nice. It's well finished, it's quiet, it's comfortable, especially with the adaptive suspension that this has got. And on a run, you really don't feel like you're driving what is effectively a hot hatch in the slightest. The boot space is reasonable for a smaller hot hatch, but isn't huge. Fiesta ST definitely has a bit more. Realistically, if you're putting anything bigger in, the back seats go down. But with the back seats down, there is actually loads of space. And realistically, as everyday hot hatches go, from an interior point of view and from a comfort point of view, this does it extremely well. From that performance point of view, so 231 brake horsepower, 350-ish Newton meters of torque, we are topping out at 153 miles an hour. We're getting to 62 in 6.3 seconds. This is actually a very quick hot hatch when you think about it, when you put it up against things like Golf GTI. Your steering feel is very direct. It's nice, it's quite planted whilst you do have a bit of torque steer. It's nothing too terrible. The brake feel is perfect for back roads. The acceleration is prompt exactly when you want it. And being honest, the weight distribution when you are on back roads is great fun. This is a seriously fun performing hot hatch, and whilst it's not as refined, I would say, in drive as a Golf GTI, it definitely keeps the driver entertained, let's put it that way. When I compare this to the last Mini Cooper S7 I drove, while it wasn't a John Cooper Works, the basis of the car was still there, and this feels substantially more performance driven, substantially better in so many different ways, especially the adaptive suspension, which really helps giving you that nice change between driving spiritedly on back roads and being comfortable on the motorway. speaking of the motorway, let's get into economy. Now, within reason, they claim that you're going to be seeing about 40 miles per gallon combined, maybe up to about 43 miles per gallon combined. Completely achievable if you're really lucky. In fact, you'll see up to about 46 around town, depending how you drive. This is the big one. Around town, this can really, really drink. I mean, it's a 2-litre turbocharged petrol. What do you expect? You're going to see anywhere between, and this is a worst case scenario, 25, and a good case scenario, about 34, 35. That's realistically what you're going to see. And around town, obviously, the get up and go is absolutely perfect. No struggling, even in economy mode, in green mode, shall I say. When it comes to the mid setting was actually very good for your city driving, better than economy, because the throttle response is more instantaneous. When you're on back roads, even if you're in sport setting, even if you're in the red setting, and the economy really wasn't that bad. It all depends on how much you keep your foot in it. If you don't drive this hard, the economy can be very, very good. But if you have a heavy right foot, this will absolutely drink. I guess it's the same. Golf GTI, Fiesta ST. If you drive with your foot down, they are going to drink quite a lot of fuel. So a bit of a summary. Obviously, this one's about £30,000 on the road, but it does have adaptive suspension, it does have navigation plus, it does have comfort pack, it does have this lovely blue colour. This is a car which deals with the everyday in an exceptionally good way. I mean, it is so capable to do everything, with visibility being second to none, that from a daily point of view, this is right up there on the very, very good dailies. Because the thing is, when you've driven it during the week, if you've got your good fuel economy, you've done your commuting to work or whatever you're going to do, even if you need better economy on a run, at the weekend you put it into sport mode, you get your pops and crackles with the adaptive suspension, changes the drive entirely. And really, I think this is a fantastically put together car for performance. Your interior quality is comfortable, filled with technology, Apple CarPlay, heads-up display, everything's at your fingertips. There is a good amount of boot space, but not huge amounts. If you need to carry bigger items, then you want to go for the 5-door versus the 3-door, obviously. But I found this just so refined. Beautiful looking from the outside, comfortable on the inside, great performance and lovely character to drive on back roads, on motorways, or really wherever you want to drive it. Mini have done an exceptional job in taking something which is already a very good car, the previous generation, and making it even better, even more fun. And they're making it more like an original Mini, engaging, but just not small, because Minis are not Mini anymore.
Yeah, yeah.